Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I am bringing you a new what's for dinner. We have some delicious recipes to share with you guys, so let's go ahead and dive right in. So on the first night I decided to make a spinach and artichoke bake. If you like spinach and artichoke dip, this recipe is definitely for you. First, what you're going to need is half a block of room temperature cream cheese. Next, you're going to need some sour cream. I will have the recipe linked down below just so it's easier to follow. That way I don't have to memorize all the measurements while I'm doing my voiceover. Next up, you're going to add in some heavy whipping cream. Then you're going to add in some mayonnaise. Next up, you're going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper, just to your liking. Now you're just going to mix everything up. You're going to want to make sure everything is combined very well. You might even want to bring out a little hand mixer, especially if your cream cheese is still a little bit cold. As you can see here, it was a little bit difficult to mix it just with the spoon, but once I got it warmed up, it definitely mixed together pretty well. So this is the consistency that it should be once you're finished mixing it all up. Next, I'm going to be adding in some Italian cheese. The recipe calls for mozzarella and parmesan, but I just went ahead and skipped that whole step and just got the Italian cheese blend, which I think is just fine, but you can use the mozzarella and parmesan cheese if you like instead. And then you're just going to fold that into the mixture. Now I'm just going to add a couple of tablespoons of minced garlic. You can add more or less depending on how much you and your family like garlic. We like a lot of garlic over here, so to me, more is always welcome. Next up, I'm going to be adding my artichokes. I did get the marinated quarters, but you can get the plain ones in the can. I don't think it really matters, but I figured a little extra flavor wouldn't hurt. And I would recommend probably chopping these up a little bit before you add them to the mixture. As you can see here, I'm going to be just using my spoon to kind of chop them up, and it didn't do the best job. They were pretty soft, but they weren't really super soft where they just, split with the spoon. But we don't mind chunkier artichokes, so if you do, then definitely dice them up a little bit better before you add them into your mixture. And then you're just going to mix it all and combine that into the recipe. Now you are going to add in your thawed spinach. My spinach, as you can see here, is still a little bit frozen, but it doesn't really matter because you are going to be baking it and it's going to cook down. But I ended up adding a little bit more because I do like a lot of spinach. And then again, you're just going to mix this into the mixture. Now that you have the mixture all combined, you're going to take your chicken breast. You are going to spray a baking pan, and then you're just going to add that mixture directly to the top of the chicken breast. And you can double this recipe if you have a larger family, but it's just going to be Matt and I eating this particular recipe tonight. So I just have 2 chicken breasts. You're going to want to spread that mixture out evenly and top with a little bit more cheese. Now you are going to pop this in your preheated oven on 375 for about 20 minutes. I ended up actually broiling it for about, I don't know, a minute or two just to get the cheese on top extra crispy, and let me tell you, it got a little extra crispy. And I decided to serve this on top of some zoodles. I have been on a zoodle kick lately because, new year, new me, trying to be a little bit healthier with my eating habits. And this is the finished product, and it was very delicious, I assume. I can't really taste anything right now, but my husband said it was pretty good. So 10 out of 10 recommend. So as I was saying, I'm on a zoodle kick right now. So I'm just making some good old-fashioned spaghetti, and I made the boys just regular spaghetti noodles, but I decided to make myself some zoodles with it. And, I'm just chopping up zucchini. You guys know how to chop up zucchini, but I really like my new cutting board that I got for Christmas. So I was kind of wanting to put that on, display for you guys. And then I have this really cool zoodle maker. It actually does a bunch of other stuff too, but so far I've only used it to make zoodles. But yeah, you just put it in there and it just zoodles on out. So if you have one of those, great. If not, there's lots of other ways you can make zoodles. And then with zucchini noodles, you don't want to over boil them. So I highly recommend starting your water, letting it come to a boil, putting them in there, and then turning it off. And then really they only need to sit for a couple minutes. So that is my spaghetti zoodle dinner. So for the next recipe, I am making keto broccoli and cheddar soup. I love broccoli and cheddar soup. It's probably one of my most favorite things to eat. So I wanted to try it and kind of give it this healthier twist. But you're just going to start out with some chicken broth, and then you're going to add in a little bit of water. And then you are going to add in a whole block of cream cheese, cubed up. I just like to cube it up because I feel like it melts down faster. And then, of course, room temperature helps it also melt down faster. Then you're going to go in and add some heavy whipping cream. Next, you're going to add in some cooked broccoli florets. Then you're going to add in some shredded cheddar cheese. Then a couple of tablespoons of butter. I'm using regular butter for this recipe just because that's what it called for. And you can use plant butter too. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. But then I'm going to be going in and adding some Italian cheese as well. And then I'm just getting all that yummy goodness out of the bottom by adding a little bit of water. Next, I'm going to add some onion powder and some garlic powder. Then you're just going to want to mix everything together, making sure all of those ingredients are well combined. And then, of course, I decided to add a little bit more of that cheddar cheese just because I felt like the consistency of the soup wasn't like that Panera kind of consistency. Obviously, this is not going to taste the same, but I'm hoping that it is a good substitute for that because I know that soup is probably full of all kinds of junky, bad, delicious, good stuff. So here is the soup. I did add some more cheese, of course, and this was so delicious. Again, 10 out of 10 recommend, especially if you are trying to be good and you're doing low carb or keto. Now the last recipe I have for you guys is a low carb Big Mac Casserole. First thing, you're going to want to brown up some ground beef. Then you are going to add in some diced onion. I'm just using a white onion, but I'm sure any onion will be just fine. Once the onions become translucent, you're going to add in a dash of Worcestershire sauce. I think I added like half a teaspoon or something like that. Again, I will have the recipe linked down below. Then you're going to add some garlic powder and some onion powder. Next, you are going to salt and pepper everything. While your meat is draining, you are going to add some cream cheese directly to the pan, and you're going to let that melt down a little bit, and then you're going to add your beef mixture directly on top, and you're going to combine the cream cheese and the meat, making sure that the meat is covered with the cream cheese. Now that that is well combined, you're going to go in and add a tablespoon of relish. Mix that well, and then you're going to take a baking dish, spray it with some cooking spray, and then you're going to add the meat mixture directly into the dish. Next up, you're going to take a couple of eggs and some heavy whipping cream, and you're going to whisk that together well. You're going to pour this directly over the meat mixture. Try to make sure that you pour it out evenly, because if you pour too much in one area, it's going to make it more eggy, and you definitely don't want that. So once you pour it in, kind of give it a little jiggle and like try to distribute it as evenly as possible. My egg was still a little bit, I don't know, together in some spots. So it kind of I don't know. It was a weird situation. I kind of wish I would have just mixed everything together, because I felt like there were definitely parts of the casserole that were more eggy than others. But I think if you mix it really well and spread it out pretty evenly, you won't have that problem at all. And then you are going to cover the casserole with some cheddar cheese, and you are going to pop it into your preheated oven on 350, and you're going to bake it for anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. You just want to make sure your cheese is nice and crispy and melty. So while your casserole is baking, you're going to make up your Big Mac sauce. I didn't do this the last time I made a Big Mac recipe. I just used the mayo chup, and it was not it. So today I'm making some Big Mac sauce. I'm just doing ketchup and mayo and some garlic and onion powder, and of course the secret ingredient, relish. It's not really a secret because you can see it in there, but I really think that makes the whole taste of it come together, and I didn't have that when I just used the mayo chup last time, so definitely don't skip this step. But I'm just mixing that together really quickly while my casserole is baking. So I decided to do kind of like an open face sandwich situation, which kind of takes away from the keto aspect. Even though I am eating this keto bread, it is fairly delightful, 45 calories, and it's low carb. But I'm just plating this up, adding this casserole directly to the slices of bread. And as you can see here, I'm garnishing with some more pickles because I love pickles, okay? If you know me, you know I freaking love pickles. I could eat pickles all day, every day. And lastly, you're just gonna top everything with that Big Mac sauce to give it its finishing touches. But this is all of the recipes for this week's What's for Dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That lets me know that you enjoy this type of content, and I will make more of it for you. But if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave. Thank you again so much for watching, and thanks for being my kind of weird. Bye!